Heard you wanna stop the party. Well, tell her we gon' party. Few shots got her horny. The way that she move got me on it. They ain't stopping no parties. She rockin' that body. They ain't stopping no party. Shot, we gon' double shot it. Couldn't wait to get next to you. And I can't let this moment lose. They ain't crashing no party. Not before we get naughty. We could dance all night, yeah. Make love through the morning. Hennessy, making night of memories. Hey, and welcome to Dr. Tranquility Talks Conscious Dating and Relationships. Tonight we have a really amazing show. We have Sophia Andreeva of sophisticatedmatchmaking.com and Quantum.dating. So we are going to get into a whole bunch of wonderful stuff with Sophia. We also have Dr. Brian coming on for his segment on Love Bites. So it's going to be a really amazing show. And this show, we're going to slow it down just a little bit so that we can really get into the interview with Sophia. Sophia is the #1 matchmaker in Seattle, and she runs these two amazing sites. She believes in conscious dating and relationships, so she's the perfect guest for our show today. And so we are going to bring her in just a moment, and we will be right back with this wonderful edition. So excited to bring this to you. Hi, this is Dr. Tranquility, Lydia, coming at you with some great information about my friend, Dr. Hal Blattman. Hi, I am here with Dr. Hal Blattman of Blattman Health and Wellness and Blattman Integrative Healing in New York and in Cincinnati, Ohio. Hi, Dr. Hal Blattman. How are you, sir?
Lydia, I'm doing great. Thank you very much. How are you?
Very good. Thank you. So I understand that you have some different services in your different locations, both in Cincinnati and in New York City. Can you tell me a little bit about the services that you offer?
Yes. In Cincinnati, we have 3 arms to our practice. One is making pain go away. One is regenerative medicine, and the other is complex medical illnesses that we're not really taught how to deal with. In New York, we do a lot with regenerative medicine, and we do a lot with making pain go away. And those are the things we really should focus on, because in the world as we see it today, medicine thinks that chronic pain is here to stay, and chronic pain can't go away. And we're here to say that most chronic pain can get a whole lot better than it is now. And why are you seeing a doctor who was taught to his or her very core that you are going to suffer for the rest of your life, and there's nothing they can do to really change that?
That's so true.
It is. And around the world, they think that chronic pain, once you've had pain for 3 months or maybe 6 months, you lose all hope of making it go away, and the treatment is killing the nerve, giving epidural steroids, or making your brain and nervous system not work with medications and procedures. And all around the world, the conversation is, how do you cope with pain? Well, I'd like to suggest the conversation should not be about coping. The conversation should be about making it go away. Because most of it can, in most people, most of the time. Way better results than you've ever gotten from conventional medicine.
So the goal is how to make pain go away.
Correct.
It's time for Rawtrition. Non-GMO and organically sourced nutrition made from whole foods and roots. Rawtrition has a product for all of your health needs. Bioenergy is a perfect all-in-one supplement for energy, nutrition, immune support, and mental clarity without without the jitters or crash. BioEase is perfect for inflammation issues and joint relief. BioFocus is great for mental clarity, focus, and clearing up the brain fog. And Stampedo is great for balancing your hormones, restoring your libido, and naturally increasing your testosterone levels. So don't delay. Try Nutrition today. Would you like to find balance between your personal power and harmonious relationships? How would it feel if you can exert your will in partnership without exerting too much authority and finding an effective balance that works? A chakra recharge can help you do just that. Whether it's before a first date, an existing relationship, or a work relationship that needs an infusion of positive energy, visit KellyRayCoaching.com. Kelly, KELLIE, Ray, RAE, coaching.com. Just click contact on the website to schedule this $25 mini distant Reiki session with Reiki Master Kelly Ray for a better you.
And we are back, and I'm just so excited to bring this woman to you. She is amazing. Her name is Sophia Andreeva. I love saying that name. It's amazing. And Sophia has 4 cornerstones of matchmaking at sophisticatedmatchmaking.com. Integrity, love, and compassion for people. And let's see, I'm reading here and I'm not reading well. Intuition and delicateness of professionalism. So we're going to ask her what she means by that. Sophia has had 15 years experience in the matchmaking industry. She's helped many people improve their love life. She has built the largest database of singles in the Northwest and has created thousands of handpicked introductions with lovely success stories. As the president and founder of Sophisticated Matchmaking, Sophia Andreeva understands the needs of today's busy professional. As a dating veteran, Sophia has gained an understanding of her clients' needs and what their experiences will most likely be to find the love of their life. As a professional, certified traditional matchmaker, Sophia integrates personal attention with a healthy dose of intuition. We love that here at Dr. Tranquility Talks Conscious Dating and Relationships. She specializes in techniques and a unique custom tailored approach to identify and qualify potential matches. Her services also include background investigations, screenings, targeted and discreet recruiting, and scouting to find the best possible partners for long-term relationships. And Sophia is worldly and cosmopolitan. Being born and raised in Europe, she speaks English, Russian, Japanese, French, and Spanish. Hello. Prior to moving to the Seattle area, Sophia has traveled the world more than 30 countries and has built a successful career as a real estate broker in Washington State, which is where she's from, in Seattle. And we are going to bring her in now because we are just so excited to bring her to you. Sophia Andreeva. Hi, darling. How are
Hello,
you?
hello, Lydia. You made me
It,
blush. You gave me such an amazing endorsement. I'm excited for myself.
well, we're excited to have you. So, the first thing that I love to ask is what was the impetus for you to get into dating and relationships and matchmaking?
I think everybody gets into this business for different reasons.
Mhm.
So for me, it was passion for people, and and I guess I have quite a dose of intuition, which helped me to connect with people, to build trust. And when I was a real estate broker, uh, I guess what I loved about working in real estate was not real estate per se, but working with people. So when I switched and started to be a matchmaker, then I felt like I found my calling. I found my calling. It was like, there is, if somebody asks me, what do you do for a living or what's your work, there is no work. So whatever I do is a pure integration. Like, I live my life and I match people on the way. Like, I wake up, I have coffee, I have this phone call, I browse through profiles, I of course I do some administrative stuff, but in general, it feels so natural and so integrated in who I am and where I am, that it's not a work mode for me. Let's put it this way.
Oh, that's
So,
beautiful.
so I've started matchmaking so many years ago that over 15 years, I changed as a person. I've got mature, I got humbled, my ego egg broke. I realized how immature, how unenlightened, how not self aware I was. And I still felt great and did a lot of wonderful things. But once you get, let's put it on the other side,
Mhm.
right? Everything changes. And all of a sudden, all external becomes less and less important. And what's internal becomes your driving force. And I found that I work with two different types of people. One group who is already there, another group is not there and doesn't know about it, and the third one know about this and trying to get on another side. So the quantum dating and the coaching platform for singles was created by me a couple years ago, with the purpose to give a hand to those who would like to get into a different place. Because ultimately, the level of consciousness, right? Level of consciousness is the level of your communication skills at the end. And the way you communicate and how you connect with another is going to predetermine the quality of your matches. And if you want to have quality matches with someone better than you used to have, unless you improve your consciousness, coming to me and hoping I will deliver this is it's a fantasy. because because I can only do that much. I definitely can increase the number and a pool of options, right? So if you tell me that you're looking for A, B, C, D, I would say, okay, well, let me see. I have the list of A, B, C, D for you. But if you are less than what you're asking for, or you do not have communication skills, and in general, like maybe the level of intuition, the level of magnetism, the level of empathy, then even if you meet these people, you will never be able to keep them, right? And what's the
Right.
point? The point is not just to meet and find the match. The point is to have harmonious long-term relationship when you will be relaxed, happy, right? And your partner will feel the same. So I guess I felt that just matching people for each other was great, but I wanted to do more. And the
Mm.
tools I'm offering today is not just the introduction per se, but helping people to have a look at themselves. Like, I have a flashlight and I'm going through all the dark corners of their
The recesses.
of all these places which they're sometimes not aware of. And once those dark corners are not dark anymore, right, and the light is on, a lot of times people reevaluate the whole list of criteria and what they were seeking in a partner. And the search is developing in a completely different direction, right? And then
Mm.
those are my favorite clients. I love working with those people who are open for my suggestion. But sometimes people come and they say, I know what I want, this is what it is, and bring this on. And I do. And I've seen couples so that they've been happy and they were not super conscious. And they lived
Right.
with each other for many, many years, right? It's, I guess, it's not about being better and who is more perfect. It's to find someone who is matching your level of what is level of consciousness. It's a level of your self-respect. Ultimately, it's a level of your self-respect. And I met a lot of people who think they know what self-respect is, but they don't.
And
And
what
showing
would
them
you
up
say?
when they
I'm
so,
sorry.
so
What would you say self-respect or consciousness is?
self-respect, in I would I would use the term with my clients, locus of control. You can
Mm,
Google this. Locus of control. It can be internal and external. When my locus of control is internal, I rely on myself and the place where I go to fulfill any of my needs will be myself. So I'm responsible for everything in my life because I'm an adult. The minute I become infantile, right? I'm a child. I am seeking for this outside of myself. So my locus of control becomes external. So I am looking for another person to fulfill my needs. The minute I think that the source of my fulfillment, pleasure, whatever, is outside of me, that thing controls me. The
very true.
minute these things control me, I'm afraid to lose it. The minute I'm afraid to lose it, as soon as my locus of control becomes external, it breaks my personal boundaries. Personal boundaries, okay, this is a very interesting subject. I love the subject
Yes.
of personal boundaries because there are so many crazy articles where they advise people to protect their personal boundaries from other people. I look at this in complete opposite concept. Personal boundaries are given to you not to get out from your boundaries, right? Because as soon as your locus becomes external, you leave your boundaries. Your needs are
Right.
external. You go after something what's not given to you voluntarily. And when something is not given to you voluntarily, you go outside and you ask for this or you beg for this or you manipulate or you start stalking the like there are different phases. Like when you break your boundaries, you put masks on yourself, so you get outside asking for
Hmm.
something what was not offered to you voluntarily. And the minute you do this, your self-respect shrinks. Like, so
Right.
the more external you become, the less self-respect you have. The more self-respect you have, the less you get out of your boundaries, the less communication bugs you have, and the more magnetic you become for others.
Wonderful. So you've mentioned, and we mentioned it in the intro, the four cornerstones of matchmaking as a
Yeah.
business for sophisticatedmatchmaking.com and for quantum dating, I assume. What you mentioned integrity, love and passion for people, intuition, delicateness, and that's what one thing we want to talk to you about, and professionalism. Can you get into what those four cornerstones mean to you? So, integrity.
Integrity will be for me if I sometimes get a client and
Mhm.
before I take anyone on board, I spend 3 hours. I spend 3 hours interview, talking to someone, talking to someone to find out where they're at, what they're looking for, if their expectations realistic, if I can
Okay.
help them, if I have enough people in the database, and if I don't have it, I will tell them and will not take them on board as a client. I would refer them somewhere else or maybe to a different service. And often, even over phone conversation, I might just tell, okay, we're not a good match to work together, right? So integrity will be to refuse from maybe a potential check if you know that it's not going to be a win-win for both of you. Doesn't mean that I always fulfill the expectation. It's not always that the match is found, right? But if I
Right.
don't feel confident about this, I would never take a person. So yeah, it's I think or as matchmakers we work together. If I had a client from, for example, San Francisco who called me, I would not take the client on board trying to find matches in San Francisco for another matchmaker. If
Right.
I know a good person in San Francisco, I will refer them to that matchmaker because it will be better for the client. Does it make sense? So
Yes.
you keep interest of other people and you are honest about this and you stick to this. Yeah.
That's
So your
integrity.
personal, I would say your personal interests are important, but if they cross other people's interests, then I don't cross that line.
Gotcha. And,
Yeah.
and what about love and passion for people and intuition?
Well, love and passion for people. I guess I'm an introvert in some ways, and I'm a very deep philosophical person. So for me, it's it's a great pleasure to go inside of myself, figure out a lot of dark places, bright places, what drives me, where my passion is. And so when you become so aware of self, you want to see this in others. You want to find out who they are, where they're coming from, what drives them. So it's not just the static look. Let me find out how old you are, what's your income, what's your education, how many kids you have, and where you like to travel. No, it would for this I will send the person to fill out my form, and then I just read this on paper. But through the interview, it will be focus on. I would even say you want to see the soul of the person besides behind the mind, because mind protects us, and soul and soul makes us shine, I guess. And you want to find out that shine in everyone, right? So I guess I meet my clients, and you have to find the beauty in everybody. Unless you see the beauty in the person, it's almost impossible to match them, right? So
Well, we
you're
see
gonna
the
to
beauty
see
in
their
you.
beautiful sides.
We
Yeah,
see the beauty in you, love, inside and
thank you.
out. So tell us about intuition and how that plays a part.
Intuition, intuition get developed just like if you go to intuition get developed just like if you go to the gym. It takes
Mm,
time, and it takes intuition will take not only an effort, but I guess repetition and experience,
right.
accumulation of knowledge. Uh, accumulation of knowledge comes to the point that you stop thinking about the outcome. It becomes spontaneous. So the decision making becomes spontaneous, and you become more intuitive. Intuition also only possible with an absence of illusion. So the minute I have illusion about the outside world, I cannot be intuitive.
Right. I
So
understand.
getting rid of intuition is crucial. Yeah, and for some people, okay, let's trust our intuition. Well, if you have
Mhm.
no illusions, yeah, let's trust our intuition. But if you have illusions, then trusting your intuition will be like drive the car with no brakes,
Not very smart.
right? Mhm.
What would you
So
say is the difference for the person looking for a matchmaker, looking for you? What would be the difference between sophisticated matchmaking and quantum dating in approach
in approach,
between
so
your
there
two
are
people?
VIP clients of mine.
Hmm.
So sometimes I got VIP clients who are very particular. Their search is very complicated. They know what they want. They come with a very elaborated list of what should that particular person have.
Okay.
Mm,
Can you give
That
us a
takes
story about someone who came with a list?
Well, everybody comes with a list. Everyone comes with a list. So,
Yes.
so sometimes this list is fine to have, is that's who you are. But a lot of times people comes with a list, and it's it's not it's not reasonable expectation to find this, right? So if
Right.
it's, let's put this way, so if a VIP person comes with a big list and it's realistic expectation because what he is looking for is matching his caliber, that's great, it's fun to work with. If somebody comes and what they're seeking and looking for, it's unachievable, it's unachievable for them, so they come, then no, it's an impossible task. An impossible task. And so for quantum dating will be somebody who comes with this kind of list, and through the interview I see where they where this person is willing to go. So when I say delicateness, I do not impose on anyone what I know, on what I personally believe. I look at the person, see who they are, understand what they need. Just pushing somebody in a different direction doesn't make sense. You deliver people what they want to receive. If they're open to hear your suggestions, or maybe I would not say a critique, it's just a different outlook. So they have opportunity to look at their circumstances and themselves in a different light. If they're open to this, then yes, I would suggest maybe a different list and explain why. And so the search will be different. And the person who is willing and open, they usually looking to become better and they want to
Mm-hmm.
learn. And in this case, matchmaking will go hand in hand with coaching. So you go on date, you get feedback, we work together, we improve, we find out what mistakes were made, we find out what are the better communication techniques, how to attract, how to create connection, how to increase magnetism, how to improve spontaneity.
Wow.
So that would be work with a quantum dating client. And VIPs, a lot, some might choose this road, but
Mm-hmm.
usually it would be contract on a task for a particular list. Yeah, when it's
What?
but my input, let's put it, my input is welcome, but it's limited.
Well, that's wonderful. And we
Yes.
are going to be right back with Sophia Andreeva. And when we come back, we're going to talk with her about the 4 rules of dating. So we will be right back. Wonderful. I love Fro Fro.
I'm excited to announce the first application of its kind. We've launched Money for Likes on iOS and Google Play. This app will allow all content creators, artists, videographers, and digital artists, just to name a few, to post their content and receive likes. We call money likes. Likes that are monetized. That's right, content creators will receive money transferable to their bank account, PayPal, and Venmo. Download the app, make a $10 in-app purchase. You'll receive 1,000 money likes to give your favorite content creator and post your content and receive likes that matter. Download the app today on iOS or Google Play. Hi, I am Dr. Tranquility for Lifted Infused Teas. That is at LFTD Infused Teas, found on Facebook and Instagram. Lifted Infused Teas are amazing. They are created with premium alcohol and cannabis, so you don't have that groggy, hungover feeling the next day. You know what I'm talking about. They come in an array of exotic flavors, 6 with premium alcohol and 6 alcohol free. Among my favorites are the mango peach and one that was created with me in mind, Tranquilaze. That is at LFTD Infused Teas on Facebook and Instagram. I've got my Tranquilaze. Have you got yours?
And we're back. Let's just take a deep breath. Whew. Feels good to relax, right? You know how we do that? We close off the right nostril and we breathe through the left. You can find this exercise on Instagram under Date Therapy. very popular, like 14,000 in less than 3 hours. And you can also find it on Dr.Tranquility Lydia. And I will take you through the whole thing. The most important thing to remember is closing off the right nostril, breathing through the left. It puts the body in parasympathetic mode. It allows you to rest, to digest, to restore. And so we are going to come right back now with Sofia Andreeva. I love saying her name. And we are talking with Sofia Andreeva about sophisticated matchmaking, quantum dating, quantum.dating, and especially the 4 rules of dating. Hello, Sofia.
Hello, Lydia again.
Hi,
How are you
gorgeous.
doing?
How are you? So, can you tell us a little bit about the 4 rules of dating?
4 rules of dating. Well, I wish I could put it in four. There is a lot more than four.
I'm
I even
sure
have,
it's 4 main ones.
but but let's try to form the main the main rules which will bring success and fulfillment, right?
Okay.
So I would say what's data are separated into groups. One is more aware, another one is less aware. Let's call the first one egocentric and another one charismatic, right?
Okay.
So, in order to become charismatic from egocentric, sometimes it's a long way. But the goal in successful dating will be to be less egocentric and more charismatic.
Okay.
And I would say not to be love hungry, not to be love hungry, sex hungry, anything hungry. The less hungry you are, the more relaxed and tranquil you are,
Mm,
right? Because the need is fulfilled. If my need is fulfilled, then how do I date? I date for fun. And that's will be
right.
Casanova. Casanova is not there to grab anyone. Casanova is there to make them want him. So when they come with the desire for him, that's a victory. But to go and eat somebody against their desire or by manipulation is not a victory, right? Maybe it's a victory for the ego for a moment, right?
Right.
But a true victory is when a lot of people recognize your light, your spontaneity, your energy, and that's what attracts you the more. So working on inner energy, vital energy, and spontaneous expression of yourself, that's, I would say, the ultimate goal to become successful. Why?
Mm,
If you if you who is not spontaneous? Not spontaneous are people who are in a search for something. The more you're in the search for others, the less spontaneous you are, right? And when you communicate, it's only when you're free you can become a little bit crazy and unpredictable. And that's what everyone loves, right? People loves what? Unrestricted,
yes.
flowing, magnetic, easygoing. They usually will be very lighthearted, um, tactful, delicate, respectful, mature, and empathetic. So if I were to advise people, what is the step when you go on a date? What you should focus on the most? Number one rule is to have your focus on another, because majority of people go on a date with a focus on themselves. So locus of control, external, internal, and another will be focus, external or internal. So what's internal focus? Internal focus, and when you look at another person and wondering, do they like me? What they're going to do next? Are they going to be good fit for me? So this is, yes, it is focused on another, but what's in it for me? So it's not really focused on another. It's focused on yourself, because you see another as the resource for fulfillment of whatever pleasures or benefits you're seeking in them. So now
Right.
focusing on the other person will be not focusing on their action and thoughts. Focusing on another person is a focus on their emotion. at the moment. So I look at your face, you're smiling, you're comfortable, you're relaxed, you're wonderful, right? It gives me good pleasure. I understand that my company is pleasant to you. So if I'm on a date, I'm going to watch your eyes and see, are you getting dull? Are you interested? I'm going to be very sensitive to the way you are. Eye contact will be super important. So focusing on another, it will be bringing pleasure for another at the
Mm-hmm.
moment, and observe. And what can I do? Okay, so internal and external focus, not to get out of the boundaries. External and internal focus on another. And I would say your creativity and
Right.
your empathy. And
Right.
empathy is recognizing interest of another person. Seems to be like such a simple thing, but
Not.
recognizing what interests of others are allows you to avoid a lot of heartbreaks, right?
Yes.
And one more thing I'd add here is stop projecting how you feel on others. So if you go on a date, like I hear sometimes my clients come and they talk about their dates and their matches, and they would say we. I call it the bad we. It's okay to say we went to the store. Yeah, we went to the store. But when you say we we went to the store and we loved it, it's for me it's merge boundaries. It should be we went to the store and I loved it. I don't know if the other loved it. I did a good time, but I don't know if another one person did this. So when you go about this, you always give space for another person to have a different opinion than yours, and then you're gonna to have more attention. You're gonna to ask, did you have a good time, right? This will be the attention for another, and focus on another person without assumption. So just these four things: internal, external locus, focus, internal or external, staying in boundaries, not to do, um, not to use manipulations when you interact with people, um, and very important, not to have illusions. Not to have illusions. Sometimes it takes another person to help you with this. If you have illusions,
Yes.
to recognize what they are, the minute your illusion drops, you become free. You become free. You
Right.
start seeing yourself for who you are. You
Yes.
become accepting yourself for who you are. And the minute you accept how you are, um, the need to prove something different to others disappear, and you become spontaneous.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And another thing also that came to mind for me when you were talking about focus and looking in the eyes, one of the things that we know is when we stare into the eyes of another person, it releases PEA or phenylethylamine, which is one of
Mm.
those wonderful hormones, chemicals that gets released like oxytocin, which is bonding and cuddle hormone. And PEA actually helps to solidify the attention and the connection. So it's
Interesting. I've learned.
really neat. Yeah, I love
I didn't know
PEA.
that, but I know it's magic, so it works.
It is
Um,
magic.
Sometimes at sessions, I show my clients. I would say, get your face a little closer and look at my eyes, and now just focus on how I feel. And when the minute we start doing this, what's get created? Intimacy. It's immediately
Mm-hmm.
you jump into the place of intimacy. So you become open, you become sensitive, you become delicate. You are looking with quest what I can do for you, instead of,
Yeah.
well, mine will say what you can do for me. Let me evaluate you by the list, and let me see if you have everything on the list so you can fulfill my needs better.
Yes, that's amazing. And I just love the idea of swimming in oxytocin and PEA. It's such a yummy, delicious thing to swim in. Coming up next
That's why
week.
dating that's
Yeah,
That's why
no.
dating in person and dating online, it's two different things. Unless you meet someone in person, you don't really know.
Mm,
And during COVID, people were deprived from this. A lot of communication would happen online, right? And
Right.
Zoom, Zoom or FaceTime, I think cannot substitute this. I don't think that it can substitute the energy one-on-one or in person for people. So hopefully we will get to the place when we have less and less of this deprivation and can enjoy intimacy in each other a little bit more. Yeah, and I'm here to
Yes,
help.
let's hope so. So, Sophia, if you'll stay with us, we're going to bring in Dr. Brian, and Dr. Brian runs our Love Bites segment. And he has been in this wonderful chat that I know you'll love lately, talking about um, our love language. So, and that's so important. And his segment is called Love Bites. So, we will be right back with Dr. Brian. Sophia, stay with us, okay? Hey, Brian. How are
Hi,
you, Dr. Brian?
I'm
Doctor.
great. How are you?
Wonderful. It's wonderful to see you
You
and to
too.
have you here.
And I
Thank
agree.
you for
Oxytocin
joining
and
us.
PEA is the best.
Oh, I love PEA. I could swim in it forever, baby. Well, I am going to let you take over, and you're talking about love language, yes?
Yes, thank you. Hi, everybody. Welcome
Okay.
to another segment of Love Bites. The past few segments, we've been talking about Gary Chapman's love languages concept. And love languages, again, are kind of like a blueprint for how we all like to be loved. And we all have different ways that we like to be loved. So far, we've talked about quality time and we've talked about words of affirmation. And today we are up to gifts. People who have a love language of loving to receive gifts are, it's all about, kind of objects and little trinkets of affection that these people feel, really loved and cared about and thought about and valued. And it's just kind of like having something tangible that you can hold in your hand and as a constant reminder that, you matter to someone. It's something that they can refer to throughout the week that helps them feel, kind of centered and grounded and anchored in the fact that they're special and important to someone. It's really important to realize that with gift giving and the person that receiving the gifts, it's not about anything materialistic for the person. So the cost of the gift is really not all that important to people who have receiving gifts as their love language. Really what's more important is the fact that the gift is a symbol of the person's love for them. And it's something that just makes them feel very validated, and it gives them a sense of comfort and validation that, again, they're valued and matter. There's a couple of really important points I want to make about gifts. Number one is that what you choose is important. The basic traditional getting chocolate and a box of chocolates and roses is very sweet and nice, but you will really definitely pack a bigger punch if you get something for your partner that really resonates with who they are as a person. So really knowing who your partner is at the core, their true identity, is a great way to just pick gifts that really resonate with who they are. And it just really is going to have a lot more impact with the person because they feel really seen and known. Underline that. It's a really important thing. The other thing too is that it really counts more if you give gifts at times that are not to be, expected. So if you give a gift like around, birthdays and Christmas and things like that, of course. But if you also surprise them and give it to them at a time when just is least expected, there will be a lot more impact with that too. I just, in conclusion, I wanted to give just a few examples of what gifts can look like. Gary Chapman kind of gives some examples of things like, handmade crafts can really be meaningful for people because it really comes from a place of, deep thought, and you make it with your own hands, so that can mean something a lot. Giving a tribute of some kind to a person, to like a charity that matters to them, that can really be powerful. Plant or a tree can also be really important. Chapman calls something called the parade of gifts. And I may have used this example in the past, but my husband one Christmas gave me a scavenger hunt. where he made a message that I had to go somewhere in the house to look for it, and then there was a present. And I opened the present, and there was another message, and then I had to go somewhere else. So that's kind of like a barrage of gifts that are given at maybe different intervals or in a scavenger hunt, for example, and that can be really special too. But finally, in conclusion, don't forget that the very most important gift that you can ever give someone is your presence and your attention, especially when the person needs you the most. So I hope you found that helpful. And just as a side note, if anybody out there has like likes to give out BMW convertibles, sign me up.
Me too. Thank you, Dr. Brian. You're
Thank you,
amazing
guys.
as always.
Thank you. See you next time, guys. Take care.
We love having you on Love Bites.
Thank you.
Take care. And we will be right back with the very lovely and talented and gifted and intuitive Sophia Andreeva of Quantum.dating and sophisticated matchmaking.com. Stay tuned. Hello, Sophia.
Hello back, Lydia.
Hey. So, it's been amazing having you with us. This has been a wonderful show. I've enjoyed it so much. What is some information that you would like to leave people with, more than just how to contact you? I mean, some thoughts of tidbits of wisdom that you would like to share. We have about 5 minutes, so we're okay. But I know I threw
I would
this at you.
say,
Bear with her, audience. I threw it at her. She didn't know it was
I
coming.
say,
My
well,
intuition
yeah,
told me
well,
to ask you
I
that
thought,
question.
because I have so much to share and I only have to pick something one, what's most important thing for, I would say, never trade your self-respect for anyone's love and attention. That's number one advice I would give people. Because when you remain true to yourself and picking yourself, it's going to pay you back later on. It's very important. I think maybe number one important things in love. Yeah, when you respect yourself enough, and only when you respect yourself enough, you can respect another person, and therefore, you cannot love another without loving yourself, and you cannot respect another without respecting yourself. So it's all started here within. And then once you feel more complete, whatever belongs is going to come and unfold for you naturally, without hunt, without a serious effort. It's working on the inner self, becoming a beautiful person who will attract the similar minded people. That's what I would suggest for most people to focus at. Yeah. And there are multiple ways how you can do this. Multiple paths how people get there. But without loving yourself, loving another is impossible. Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm going to join you on the screen now. You were on the screen all by yourself,
Oh, really?
talking just now.
I didn't know. I didn't look.
I pop in and out. So, so that was beautiful, Sophia. You are just so gorgeous, and the outside ain't bad either. We just love having experts like you coming on the show, like Dr. Brian, and sharing so much wonderful information and benefit for so many people. And I know that people are going to take away, oops, excuse me. I know that people are going to take away from this just so much information because you've shared so much with our audience today. And I want to say thank you. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for being you. Thank you for sophisticated matchmaking DrTranquility.com and for Quantum Dating and all that you are and do.
Thank you, Lydia, for having me. I really appreciate our friendship and for inviting me.
I do too, love. I do too. So I will say goodbye to you. I thank you for joining us, and I'm going to call you as soon as I get off air.
Okay, sounds good.
Mwah.
Have a wonderful day. Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye. That was the lovely and gifted Sophia Andriva. And she was talking with us and sharing so many tools and tips, so much understanding and belief system of so many wonderfully amazing things. And she just has a gift and a way. I think personally think she's a natural for radio and TV. Um, but she had so much wonderful stuff to share with us, and we were so honored and blessed that she did. And I'm so honored and blessed that you were with us today. And I want you to have a good week. I want you to spend some time just set aside breathing in and relaxing, breathing out and letting go, and just repeating that over and over, over and over, and really check in with yourself. When we check in with ourselves, we're not frenetic. We come from a solid place. And then we can visualize and we can create and we can manifest and bring abundance and love and joy into our life. And what happens is those things seem like that it's infinite abundance because we have that within us that comes out to meet it. And it all comes together to form what we will then send out. And so we're sending out power and joy and unity. And let's try, guys, to be nice to each other. You know, all lives matter. Black lives matter. Asian lives matter. Caucasian lives matter. They all matter. And we need to respect each other's differences and come together. And we need to respect each other's values. And when we do that, our relationships are then conscious. So for Dr. Tranquility Talks, I am Dr. Tranquility Lydia. You will find me on Instagram. You'll also find Sophia Andriva on Instagram and Facebook. Um, and you'll find me on Facebook as well. DrTranquility.com is one page. Date Therapy, which is the basis for this show, which is my protocol that helps you get in tune with your ideal mate in a mind body hypnotic way. So it's very interesting, very different. I encourage you to visit datetherapy.com or consciousdating.co. And I look forward to seeing you next week at 5. Thank you so much for joining us. We love having you. And if you want to reach me, I know some of you have been sending me questions. Give me time to get back to you because I do personally answer them. I'm the only one who's going to answer your questions. I actually learned that from a buddy of mine, Laura Day, who is busy and successful and celebrity status that she has. She takes the time to answer every single email personally, and I do that as well. So feel free to write anything in there and I will get back to you. I promise. So, for Dr. Tranquility Talks, have a great week. Conscious dating and relationships. Or do you want to start the party?